Engineering. Course name 19 CS 402 Database Management System. Second year, fourth semester. Unit number 2, relation model. Based on topic number 5, functional dependency and decomposition. So, what is functional dependency? The functional dependency FD is a set of constraints of between two attributes in a relationship. For example, a serial number tends to address, address tends to mobile number tends to another mobile number. So functional dependency says if two tuples have same value for attribute A1, A2, n of an, then those two tuples must have same value for attribute B1, B2 dot of Bn. So functional dependency is represented by an arrow sign, that is x tends to y, where x functionally determine y. Then left hand side attribute determine the value of attributes on the right hand side. Value of attribute on the right hand side. This is the second one. So this is x and y. This is unique identification, and y tends to x, x tends to y. So the relationship that is exists when one attribute uniquely determine another attribute. R is a relationship with attribute of x, and y is denoted by x tends to y. Y is functionally dependent on y. X is red color mentioned uniquely determined on primary number, so that x tends to of y. So once, for example, this is male, this is serial number, this one is a name of the person. So x tends to y. ID extension to address or name or mobile number or any other purpose. So this is one of the example, e.g. Example, student details, student ID, name and surname. 448 is a student ID, name Murugan and surname is K. So 449 Saravanan and S, and 480 Arbugam and D. So student ID, name, student ID, surname and functionally dependent on one. For example, the student ID dependent on name, the name dependent on surname. Suppose the student ID not is whether is dependent on surname, yes or no. If it is yes, the answer is wrong. If it is no, answer is right, because here dependent on process is right. Name dependent on surname is dependent, but student ID not dependent on surname. So it means X tends to Z. There is no dependent on one. So that we have only depend on student name and surname. We functionally dependent on process. Sometimes the student ID dependent on name is right. Student ID not dependent on surname. Okay, this is a functionally dependent on your process. This is another one example. Student ID, name, surname, age, and marks. So student ID dependent on name, the student ID dependent on surname. Okay, the student ID dependent on age, the student ID dependent on marks. So basic uniquely define which define panindana okay. Sometimes name which define panna is okay, but sometimes is not dependent on another one, so that we use but student ID age and student ID marks more than once. Student ID can have difference age and marks, so that there is a not functional dependent. For example, student ID name, student name, okay, accepted. But here age and marks not dependent. So lengthiest process are going on. So that we have splitted into the two table. So this is a splitted. This is splitted. Decomposition process can be implemented. The process of breaking into the one table into the multiple table. One table, employee and department table, employee and table name. This is decomposition process in the database management system. This is another one, decomposition of department table. This is a problem statement. Consider the following relation schema R, which we assume that the grade determine the salary and redundancy is cost. So we have two employee ID and employee name, salary and grade and department. E1 ABC for 40,000 grade 2 CSE. Same continues with E5 and 40,000 2 and triple E. The department different, but salary and grade same. So the dependency can be occur. So that we have used decomposition or loss list function. You can implement that. Which one is the best one? You can correct answer based on step. So we have redundancy. So we have divided two tables. After the problem with decomposition, same sum of query become more expensive. We may not able to reconstruct the corresponding instance of the original relation. The checking some dependency required. They may be loss of information during the decomposition. This is my activity. So fill in the blanks. Functionally dependent FT set of constraint between dash attribute in the relation. Decomposition the process of breaking down dash table into the dash table. This is below the table whether belongs to redundancy or not. The answer is no. Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you very much.